It's bizarre. They're like, he's going to announce whether he's staying or leaving after the
Yeah.
Egg Bowl. Everything there smells like rotten eggs. See what I did there? I
Nice.
think he's definitely going to LSU. I'll put that stamp out there. The
Mm.
distractions have been a lot. I mean, this team is still playing for a college football championship.
It's the thrill of it, Argentine again.
Welcome to the Cover Story Podcast. I'm Jack and he's Mac, and we're on a never-ending quest to win you some racks. This is episode 8. It is our Thanksgiving special. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll see that I am in an alternate location, and Mac still has this beautiful fake studio up. So you wouldn't have any idea, but that is right. We have an epic slate of NFL football. It's rivalry week in college football. I mean, what a time to be alive. Mac, what are you thankful for this year?
You know what? What I'm extremely thankful for is, although this is a very heavily focused upcoming week for American football, I'm thankful that we don't have any international breaks for footy, right? We just had our first weekend back after some break, and I want to really obviously heavily lean on college and NFL football with you today, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't share at least one exciting, monumental, out of this world parlay that we're going to be focused on for one day and one day only, and that's Saturday. Now, there's some action on Friday. Going to be posting some picks then. I'll be posting some picks on Sunday. But for Saturday, I'm looking at a 5-team outright winner that adds up to plus 720. And we're going to be going to different countries here. We're going to start off in England, and we're going to be looking at Tottenham, who is hosting Fulham, and Tottenham actually favored, but only at plus 110. So that in itself is a juicy line. If you want to play it on the safe side, I would recommend just outright straight up betting that. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to travel our way over to España, where Alves is playing at Barcelona at the new Camp Nou. And then we're also going to be looking at PSG, who's playing at Monaco. And then back to Spain a little bit here. We're going to go Oviedo at Atletico Madrid. Back to France to go see Toulouse, who's playing at Marseille. So to give you just an overall highlight of what we're looking at in full recap, we're betting Tottenham. We're betting Barcelona. We're betting Atletico Madrid. And we're betting PSG and Marseille. 5 outright winners, all within Saturday morning slate, a little bit early afternoon, to, as of now, a plus 725-team parlay. That's what I'm extremely thankful for. But, of course, can't just talk about what I'm thankful for here, Jack. I'm curious. What are you thankful for in this upcoming Thanksgiving week here in the States?
Well, I mean, I'm very thankful for the very exciting Entertainment 720 parlay that you have going right there. For those of you that
nice
watch
call
Parks
out.
and Rec. Yeah, that's a good
Nice shout
reference.
out there. That was a great reference.
Yeah, I like to do it. But what am I thankful for? I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say I'm thankful for this incredible 3-game slate of football. If you are listening to this on Thursday, and we have a little amuse-bouche on Friday with a little Black Friday solo action. And then, of course, we have a full slate Sunday. We have a Patriots game highlighting Monday Night Football, and it's rivalry week in college football. So, oh my goodness, find a couch, find a lazy boy, park that booty down, and watch some American foodie. But I say we start with the big boys, as it is Thursday. We got to make sure that everyone listens to this, gets their picks in early, because we got a 1 o'clock tilt. Packers at Lions. The Lions minus 2.5, over under 48.5. Now, Mac, I would love to get your insight on this. I do know Josh Jacobs is playing. Now, whether or not he's going to be effective is questionable, remain to be seen. He's a hard runner, but I feel like he's been banged up all year. So not quite sure. But what are you eyeing in the first game of the day here?
You know, I will say I'm really excited for this game. And quite frankly, the thing that excites me the most is the over-under. I think at a 48.5, they might be giving us a little early Thanksgiving gift here, because I see this being a very high-scoring game. Right.
Okay. Points.
What we're looking at and especially with Jacobs being back. Now, we saw Wilson have a tremendous game last week with Jacobs gone. In fact, I highly regret not adding him to my anytime touchdown parlay that we posted. But I think in this match, it's going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. Lions still have a lot to basically prove and make a statement over their somewhat recent performances, I should say. Packers have been consistent, though. So giving the Lions a field goal of a line at -2.5, I'm leaning towards the Lions. I do think they come correct. But having said that, we know the Packers, especially the front line, led by Parsons, they're going to be really trying to stop that run, but I also think they're going to be hounding our boy Jordan Love. So I think the Lions are able to open up the backfield with some short passes. I think whoever Laporta's still out. Am I?
Oh, he's done for the year, most likely.
That's right. Yeah. So I think
your guy Brock Wright.
Brock Wright, I think, is going to have a good game. I think Jameson Williams is going to have a bounce back. I think he's going to actually have a good big game. Amon's always going to be consistent, solid there, but I'm really leaning towards just a high-scoring affair. I like the Lions at 3. Having said that, if I were to pick an outright winner, I would assume money line being a decent money line. I would probably have to go. I would even consider that. This may be crazy, and you may tell me, Mac, you're an idiot. Which we would accept that and with an open heart. But I'm still not convinced by the Packers offense. I haven't seen anything that's wowed me. I haven't seen anything that's blown me away. Well, the Lions obviously don't have a good defense, but I think their offense outweighs that. I think Lions are going to win by a touchdown. Okay. I would even consider buying up for the Lions. If I had to pick something, if we want to go juicy, I would look at Lions -5.5, maybe even 6.5. And then, of course, go with the over there. But if you want to be conservative, play it safe, I would just look at the over for that.
Well, I can tell you Lions -6.5 would be +159. And that was a roller coaster. I was on the edge of my seat. I didn't know where you were going with that one. I was like, is he really going to take the Packers right now? Because I'm with you. I'm on the Lions. They're obviously behind the Packers with the tie that they had earlier in the year, that being the Packers. So, that is going to rear its ugly head as we get down the stretch here for the playoff run. So I think they're going to avenge game 1 of the year. I think the Lions are going to take this one. They're 3-1 at home. I think Thanksgiving in Detroit, we obviously know how much it means. It's back to being a fun event. I know it was a little bleak at times. So I will take the Lions. And I'm curious on that over because I do think the Lions are going to be able to move the ball pretty well. The Packers offense has just been tough, and obviously they lost Tucker Kraft, so they've been losing some of that air yards there. And I will give you one prop that I'm going to be taking, and it will be Jahmyr Gibbs receptions.
Love that.
And you will see that sprinkled into a play on our socials for sure. But that's a sneaky one. Could be a great ladder, too. I think it's going to be a lot of plays out to the flat because that is not what the Packers defend well on.
Yeah.
So, Jahmyr Gibbs, big day.
Love that. Now, of course, we have an even more exciting slate, biasly, I should say, because the game after that, we got the Kansas City 12th man in black and white Chiefs playing against the Dallas Cowboys at Jerry World in
America's team.
The Dome. America's team, baby. And Chiefs are favored 3.5 here with an over-under at 52.5. Now, you're now looking at a side that's on the up and up, being the Dallas Cowboys, because my God, whoever watched that Cowboys-Eagles game, what an absolute roller coaster. And I will hold my hand up. I turned it off when we were down 21-0.
Well, you missed the second largest comeback in Cowboys history. Maybe you're not allowed to watch games anymore.
I think I may be the biggest jinx or curse for the Cowboys because after I turned that game off, they started scoring, and I kid you not, I didn't turn it back on. I just stared at the game cast and saw it go down from there because I was afraid the moment I turned it back on, we would have somehow lost it. So, maybe that's me and my tinfoil hat. Who knows? But if I'm looking at this one, right, it's the Chiefs. Who thinks that fading the Chiefs consistently is a smart move? Probably not a lot of people. But last week, we had the Chiefs and the Colts. What happened in that game, Jack?
Chiefs won that game.
Chiefs won that game. And what was my pick last week?
Pretty sure you were very anti-Chiefs because we were very all in on the Chiefs the week before when they played the Broncos, and the Broncos won that game because the Chiefs choked. So you said, I'm out on the Chiefs, never again.
Yep.
F the Chiefs.
Yep.
Give me the Colts.
Yep.
I don't think that worked out well for you.
It did not work out well for me. So, of course, I was going into this week of like, I'm going to double down. Now, again, this could be biased. This could be for my Cowboys. But I have to say, because my gut is telling me go with the Cowboys, my brain is telling me go with the Chiefs. So to pick this one, especially on Thanksgiving Thursday, and knowing my Cowboys, how they love to get our hopes up and then break our hearts, I am heavily leaning in favor of Chiefs minus 3.5. But I will say I probably might buy down to a 2.5. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Over under, that scares me a little bit. I'll be honest. I don't necessarily like that over at 52.5.
A lot of points.
It's a lot of points. And Dak is either throwing 3 touchdowns or he's throwing 3 interceptions. And this screams like a game where he throws 3 interceptions. So I don't like the, if anything, I would look at the under. But for picking this game in itself, I think Chiefs outright are going to win.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect emotional hedge spot for you. So I feel like there would be no other way that you would take the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I will say the Chiefs are without right guard Trey Smith, tight end Noah Gray, corner Chris Rowland-Wallace. They do get Isaiah Pacheco back, but I don't really know if that's a good thing or not. I feel like Kareem Hunt's kind of been that dude recently. I do think the Chiefs are the team to play here. I do have some Cowboys fanfare for you, though. I wasn't going to just, pile on this one.
Okay.
And it's in the form of something I don't think you're ready for. And it's that Jerry Jones may be the best GM in the world because Quinnen Williams has been a stud. That defense is locked down now. I think they are much improved against the run. Oh, and can I interest you in a wide receiver who's number 2 in fantasy, was traded for a 3rd-round pick. And by the way, he has more receiving yards this season than the entire Pittsburgh Steelers receiving core. That's right. 1,044 receiving yards for George Pickens, the crazy boy, and the Steelers wide receiver core with 1,009. So a 3rd-round pick for that kind of production. I know it's a little inflated because CeeDee Lamb was out, but I think if you can pair Pickens and Lamb together for a couple years to come, look out. So Jura made some good plays in the offseason. Don't think about that Parsons trade, but give me the Chiefs.
I can't say that what he's done recently is going to overshadow or make us forget what he did with Parsons until we win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Maybe I'll give him some grace then. That's the only way it happens.
I don't know if he's going to be alive for that.
Cowboys aren't winning a Super Bowl with Jerry Jones running the organization. I will go on a tangent on that. We won't do this today. We don't have enough time, but I will say it right now. We're never winning a Super Bowl with Jerry Jones at the helm. We can move on.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the nightcap. And this one is kind of the yucky game of the day, but it's at night, so it'll be a little sleepy, maybe a little too much vino, a little too many beers. But Bengals at Ravens. The Ravens -7, over under 51.5. Congratulations to us once again. The 4th stop on the choo-choo Ravens train hits. That was a 9-unit play. I think that you had it down to -12.5. And we were gifted that one. The Jets, with absolutely nothing to play for, went for it late, deep in their own territory, didn't get it, turnover on downs. Quick score for the Ravens. That puts it to a 13-point victory.
Yeah.
Skin of our teeth.
Yeah.
I think after 2 miraculous wins in a row, I think we got to get off the train. This was always the game I had circled. If you remember 4 weeks ago, I said, we'll see about Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is in fact back. Lamar is banged up, as the sun rises and sets in the west, whatever that is. He is banged up every single week. So I'm gonna fade the Ravens this week. I know it means a lot to them in terms of some divisional lineups here with the Steelers, but I think the Bengals are going to keep this close. I think that defense has starting to look a little bit better. Jamar Chase is going to be on a revenge tour after his whole spit gate. Joe Burrow's back. I think he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Everyone said, "Why come back? You're 3-8." He's a pro. That guy wants to be out there.
Yeah.
And he's a little salty because he's lost 4 straight games against the Ravens. He's only 3-6 against them in his career. So I think he wants to do nothing more than spoil the Ravens party here. And I think they can cover the 7, and I might even sprinkle a little on the money line, outright win there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we just like you said, right? I'm happy that we've just made the decision that we are ending the train, because after a 9-unit hit, that means we're up.
I think it finished at about 16 and a half, 17 units based on buying that down.
See,
so I mean, if you can make 17 units in a month,
yeah, if anyone that just hopped on the train with us and did nothing else, hell of a month for you guys there. So that was exciting to see. I agree, we're making the right call hopping off this train. I do think this is going to be a very competitive match, or game, I should say.
I love when you mix in the European footy talk about sides and everything. Give it.
But I do think Burrow has a point to make. I think he is going to be coming into Baltimore with a statement, and with Jamar Chase coming back off of suspension, Joe's going to be feeding him. I have a feeling we could see a double-digit reception game from Jamar. We've already seen it once, maybe twice this year. I know he had it in the Steelers game on that Thursday night, but I think Jamar Chase is going to have a big game. There's going to be some very fun props to play with, so that's going to be something I'm going to be looking at. But if I had to pick a winner, if Lamar it doesn't look too banged up, I think they come away with it. The -7 scares me, so I may want to buy down on that. But if anything, I do like Bengals +7. I like that a lot. So I would tail that with you. I don't know if I could do Bengals outright to win, but I do like Bengals +7.
Yeah, that's why I said sprinkle. But that is the Thanksgiving slate. We'll give you a little preview here, folks. Obviously, you're listening to this Thursday morning, but you're going to be seeing on our socials. We decided to do something fun for Thanksgiving. We're going to do a touchdown parlay, 1 from each game. We're going to do a prop parlay, 1, maybe 2 from each game. And then we'll take a money line or a side or a total from all 3 games there, parlay that for you. So not the usual 2-unit, 1-unit, half unit, but something that can carry you all through the day and hopefully have something to enjoy. And maybe we'll do something special for that Sunday night game. Make sure you end on a high note. But
absolutely.
If you don't enjoy Thursday, I don't know how you wouldn't. You get Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Bears at Eagles. Philadelphia -7, over under 44.5. Mac. After an 0-2 start, Chicago Bears, are 8-1 since. They've won 4 in a row. Eagles, like you said, coming off that epic collapse against the Cowboys. Where are you leaning this one? I mean, you're talking about 2 teams leading their divisions. Who would have thought we'd say that on Black Friday?
The Bears cease to amaze me, because when it looks like they're going back to the old Bears that we know, they somehow pull it off. Being 8-1 since that 0-2 start, it has been one of those things where it feels like they're just getting out by the skin of their teeth. Now,
well, they have been. Trust me.
I
got a stat for you.
Oh, well, I'm excited to hear this stat, because I look at this game. We know the Eagles love to bounce back after a loss. We traditionally see it often. This is a team where I could see them coming in hot. And even at a -7 spread, it would not shock me to see the Eagles just put the hammer down on the Chicago Bears and essentially give them the wake-up call we've been expecting them to have for over a month, if not 2 months now at this point. So I personally, looking at over-under, the Bears, I mean, and you would know this, Jack, so please enlighten me. Have the Bears played any solid or sound defensive teams in the last month or two that would give us any indicator that they're going to throw up a ton of points in this game?
I'd lean actually more towards the Bears offense becoming more prolific because Ben Johnson has had his hands all over this. Caleb Williams is starting to figure it out. They've been working in former Mizzou Tiger Luther Burden more into the offense. So a lot of Zacchaeus is no longer that third wide receiver. As far as defenses, no, they haven't really played anyone that's, superb top of the league here.
Yeah.
What I will say though is of their 8 wins, 6 of them have been decided by 5 points or less.
Jesus.
They have, they found ways to win. They
Yeah.
are,
They do.
like you said, they're getting by the skin of their teeth. I do think you were right on it, though. This is a game where the Eagles are going to come in and they've been playing with their food a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago is able to keep it close, but I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game because it is the perfect spot for a team that looked like they were turning the corner. 21-0. AJ Brown catches his touchdown. He's not pouting anymore. They were moving the ball downfield. And then second half happens and they just still can't figure out how to run the ball, salt out the game. Why not just stick to what was working? Passes to Smitty, passes to Brown, feeding him. So I think they're going to come in. This is a statement game. Obviously, standalone, Friday, 3 p.m. This is one that Sirianni and the boys are really going to try to come and put the hammer down. So, I think the Eagles are going to win, but Chicago has the offense to stay with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And the addition to Jalen Phillips on the D-line for Philly has been awesome. They're consistently getting to the passer. But what does Caleb Williams do well? He uses his feet, extends plays, off-platform throws. So I think they are going to be able to move the ball. Eagles secondary is, starting left janitor out there. So it's not great. I think this is a chance for the Chicago pass offense to really get an air raid tactic. So Eagles to win. I will put a foot down and say Chicago covers that 7 points. I think it's just a little too much.
And what do you think with 44.5 for the over under? I mean, if you think this is going to be a high like offensive game, like that could then be.
I would lean over here.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
I could see a very probable 28, 24, 31, 27 kind of game.
Yeah.
So I think this game can crack at least 45 points. So yeah.
All right, we love that then, and we love just rooting for points at the end of the day as well. So
Who doesn't
exciting
love
matchup
points?
there, and some exciting, I think, props are going to be solely on that as well, which will be nice to have a one singular Friday NFL game to really lean in and get in the lab and look at what kind of props we want to be cooking up for that. So excited for Friday. It's going to be a great day there, which then leads us, of course, to our second. Now we have another prime time, right? Our Sunday night football, per usual. We get the Broncos favored by a touchdown at -6.5, playing at the Washington Commanders with an over/under of 43.5. Now, both these teams are coming off byes, so Marcus Mariota is going to be at the helm. It hasn't been anything fun to watch with him behind the center, and again, I mean this Denver D we know is still to this day one of the top defenses in the league. I don't see Commanders doing anything offensively here. I think the fact that they're even giving us a 6.5, I would have honestly, I think the only reason why we're not seeing anything higher is because Broncos offense really isn't anything special. So it's not as if they're blowing teams out of the water. Like this may still be somewhat of a close game, but I just don't see the Commanders doing anything offensively. So over under at 43.5, that's pretty low, but at the same time, I actually could see that. I could see that happening. I could see the Broncos winning 17-3, right? Like something around that realm in this one. But Jack, what are your thoughts on this? Because
yeah, I mean, look, I don't even want to talk about this game. I am tired of watching the Commanders. I think the last time we saw them, they were in Spain, and that game was abysmal. Yeah, Denver's defense, phenomenal. Still without Pat Surtain. I mean, what are they going to look like when he comes back? So,
God.
Yeah, I'll take Denver to cover, and you're right there. I like the under in this one. If either team gets north of 3 touchdowns, I'd be pretty shocked. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I think 20-10, maybe. Yeah.
And then, of course, to round us out, for our NFL weekend slate. Jack's very own New England Patriots are going to be hosting Jameis
League-leading New England
Winston.
Patriots.
I mean, yeah, we can throw that in that title for now as well. But they're hosting Jameis Winston, who has been kind of one of the most exciting storylines here in the NFL in the last 2 weeks. Now, I'm not going to say
5 years. Jameis is electric.
I mean, he's one of the greatest characters and overall personas of the NFL that we've seen in the last decade. So that's a great call out there. But, Patriots -7, over under 46.5 here. Now, I don't think at this point there's any doubt that this Patriots team is one of the best in the league. We're seeing it in and out. It pains me to say this, Jack. It pains me to say because guys.
It's just been so long. It's been so long since you were able to say that about us.
It's just, yeah, Boston sports fans, my God. I've never heard of sports fans complain as much as you guys do that I've had as much success as you guys had. But we don't need to dive into that. That's a whole different tangent. You guys are the real deal this year when it comes to the Patriots. -7, I actually kind of like that line a lot. I'm not going to lie. But Jameis Winston has started to show. He still's got some legs in him, and he still has some arm in him. But I'm sure you got some very interesting stats you'd love to share, some tidbits that are going to be swaying our decisions in this pick. So love to hear what our insider Patriots expert Jack Barlow has to say on them.
Well, I will say a few things. They may not be statistics, but they are facts. The first of which, New England coming off their 9th straight win in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
At what cost? We lose both offensive linemen on the left side, our 2-star rookies.
Yeah.
Will Campbell, they just put him on IR this morning. That's Wednesday morning. So he's out at least 4 weeks. Now, one of those weeks will be a bye, so only 3 games, hopefully. But fellow rookie Jared Wilson, our left guard there, he's week to week with a high ankle sprain. High ankle sprains terrify me, so I never know what's really wrong there.
Yeah.
So set to have Vidarian Lowe and Ben Brown start in their place. I do not love that because those two gentlemen were there last year, and we were one of the worst offensive lines in football, if not the worst. So that's terrifying. But hey, we're 10-2, top the NFL, 9 in a row. Jameis, I am just going to enjoy watching Jameis. But what scares me is this Giants team is like a 5-year-old with scissors running around the house. They got nothing to lose and they don't know any better because they're banged up. If Jackson Dart plays, I might actually prefer that. I think he's still in concussion protocol as of Wednesday. I haven't seen any reports. So, I mean, Jameis, dangerous. I will take the Patriots to win this game. I could see like a 23-20, 24-21 kind of game though. So I think the Giants can cover, and the Patriots, because they've been skating by in the last couple weeks. They barely beat Cincinnati. It didn't look great. The Jets, they weren't really solid. I think they did in fact cover in that game, about 12 points or so.
They did,
but that was another one where it was like they didn't look fantastic. So a couple weeks in a row here. And I think it's really coming down to the fact that this team hasn't had their bye yet. They've played 12 games in a row. That's why you're seeing these injuries start to mount. I think they're due for a week off, and that comes next week. So survive this win and just enjoy the week off. Try to get some health back. But I think it should be an entertaining game. I'm not going to lie. I think it should be a fun one to watch on Monday. I do have one more game that I think is worth discussing. Now, I know we have a load of primetime games this week, but there is a 1:00 game on Sunday that I'm targeting, and that is the Texans at the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh.
Indy -4.5, over under 44.5. This game is massive for the AFC South. With a win, the Texans could be 1 game back. Depending on how the Jaguars do, they could be tied with them for second place. And you talked about elite defenses. I mean, this Texans defense is unbelievable. So CJ Stroud coming back, we'll see what we can get out of him. If he can be any, halfway decent as he was his rookie year, I think he could be a real problem, and this team could be dangerous down the stretch. So before I dive into Indy, what do you have on this game?
No, it is going to be very interesting because, the Colts, up until I would say the last week or so, right, have been looked like one of the most explosive offenses, all because of Jonathan Taylor. But what we have seen the Texans defense do And you know what's interesting too is going into that Thursday night football game with the Bills and the Texans. I mean, we saw Cook, especially in the first half. He actually had a pretty decent game. I mean, he broke off that 40+ touchdown run in the first quarter. So, do we think that Jonathan Taylor still has that potential to have a massive game against this Texans D? Because I do think the Danny Dimes is going to get pressured. So they're
Yeah.
going to be
Oh,
relying
yeah.
heavily on Taylor as they have been all year. I think the Texans will know how to equip their schemes for that. So I think they're going to be heavily focusing on blocking or stopping the run, which is the meaning the Colts will have to rely upon Danny. But we know, knowing Danny Dimes, knowing Daniel Jones over his career in the NFL, if he's pressured, he's throwing the ball to the other hands. The fact that the Colts are favored 4.5, I kind of like. And you tell me, I think this is where you're leaning as well, Jack. Texans outright could be a really fun line for us to be looking at.
Yeah, I know it's plus 180. How do I know that off the top of my head? Because I'm taking them. I'm taking them plus 180 on the money line.
Wow,
I think Houston is finding their stride. I mean, Davis Mills had them go 3-0. Like, they beat the Bills.
He was
come
consistent.
On, this team's starting to get moving.
Yeah.
The 6-0 at home this year. If you're watching the YouTube, I'm making a little asterisk here because they've beaten the Falcons, the Titans, the Cardinals, the Raiders, the Dolphins, and they beat the Broncos, but that was by 1 point, and that was that weird game where, like, the guy jumped over the center, so they did the re-kick, and then he made it because he got 15 more yards. So they really haven't beaten anyone at home, and, coming from a Patriots fan who hears about who have you beaten all, 12 weeks of the year, that doesn't really scream like a house of pain for Houston to go into.
Wow. Love that.
I love the early 1 o'clock
Yeah.
upset here, if you even can call it an upset. But I think Houston, D'Amico Ryans, that team is starting to find its stride. So I'll take the Texans outright.
And we love that line. So that's going to be, again, a nice little lead up to our Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening slate there. So that's something that excites me because at plus 180, my God, we're going to be all over that. So that wraps up our NFL slate over the next coming days, which, of course, though, as we know, we got a big weekend ahead of us when it comes to college football because that is, in fact, rivalry week here in college football. And that's going to be kicking off for us on Friday. So, Jack, what are we going to be seeing going into? Like, what are the first matches or games, I should say, that we're looking at?
Give me the matches. Well, Friday night, we're heading to Mississippi.
Oh.
We're going to go to the Egg Bowl. That is Ole Miss, the Rebels, -7 at Mississippi State. Over under 62.5. If you like points, tune into this one, folks. Man, I got a lot on this game. It's just everything going on at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. It's bizarre. They're like, he's going to announce whether he's staying or leaving after the Egg Bowl. Everything there smells like rotten eggs. See what I did there?
Nice.
I think he's definitely going to LSU. I'll put that stamp out there. The distractions have been a lot. I mean, this team is still playing for a college football championship, and the only thing I hear out of Oxford is, where is Lane Kiffin's plane going but not going? He's rerouting jets just to throw people off the scent. It sounds like a lot of work.
Not good.
Not good.
It's a terrible distraction for the school itself, right? Like that's not helping any of these kids at all. They need to be purely focused on if they're going to be making a run here in the playoffs or making the playoffs, let alone. And to have that distraction, I think that's just nothing, can be nothing but detrimental long term for this team.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough task. Obviously, we don't have to say it again. It's rivalry week. These teams do not like each other. Throw out the record books. I'll use every canned phrase in the business here. But couple notes here: players to watch if you're in a state that has legalized prop betting for college players. The Mississippi State offense loves to put up points. They run a 2-quarterback system, which, the old adage is if you have 2 QBs, you have no QBs. But Blake Shapen and Kamario Taylor have, played really well. Like, one of them, obviously, it's going to run, and the other's throwing the ball. So the Ole Miss D is suspect. So I think both of those guys have some props you could target. I will also say former Mizzou Tiger, Kawan Lacey, the running back for Ole Miss here. He's going to be the key to the game, leads the SEC with 19 rushing touchdowns. He's second in yards behind only Mizzou's current running back, Ahmad Hardy. But
Classic.
I think, hey, and Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame's running back from St. Louis. So 3 Missouri guys going for the running back award here in college football, Doak Award. But yeah, I think all in all, Ole Miss is going to win this game. 7 points seems like way too much, just given everything going on.
Yeah.
But I do think you're going to see a late game push from Trinidad Chambliss, from Lane Kiffin, and specifically from Kawan Lacey down the stretch here. Ole Miss gets it done.
Very nice. That is going to be an exciting matchup because we know all these matches that we're talking about today. It is nothing but passion, hatred, and heat, and so it's going to be tooth and nail, I think, in majority of these, which I think is a good segue over to looking towards the good state of Georgia, because we have number 4 Georgia at favorite at -14 at number 23 Georgia Tech, which Georgia Tech being at one point was the top 10 team in the league, or sorry, in college. So the fact that we're seeing Georgia at -14, I mean, Jack, tell me what I don't know, because this seems wild to have them favored on a rivalry game at 14 right now.
Well, it's funny you mentioned hate and passion because this game is quote unquote clean, old fashioned hate. And I will tell you, this game is being played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Why is that significant? Because if Georgia wins this game, they will be playing there next week in the SEC championship game because of that win they have over Ole Miss earlier in the year. So they have plenty to play for. That's why that number is 14. They're still going for style points. And Georgia Tech just got embarrassed last weekend by Pitt.
Yeah.
Shout out Phil Narduzzi. Or Pat Narduzzi, sorry. So, yeah, I think it's just, Haynes King, he was an early darling. We talked about him on this show a couple times. I mean, Georgia is just full of dudes. We talk about the physicality with this team. They're, when it comes to a rushing attack from Georgia Tech, they're going to get nowhere. So that's why the number is 14 points. Gunnar Stockton's going to be spreading the ball around. And Georgia has plenty to play for. Kirby knows how to win these big games. So, yeah, dogs.
All right. Well, then we'll be riding with the dogs then on Saturday. Or Saturday or Friday?
That's a Friday game still, dude. Three big ones on Friday. And one that means a lot to you.
That takes us over to our final Friday game here down in the low star state of Texas, because we have number 3 Texas A&M favored at -2.5 versus the number 16 Hook'em Texas Longhorns with an over/under of 51.5. Now, of course, as I've mentioned in these podcasts, I was raised a Longhorn. My mother went to University of Texas. She is probably the most and biggest diehard University of Texas football fan that I've ever seen, to the point where the house shakes when we are watching a game because of how much she is yelling at this football team in a fun and positive way, of course. But, well, we'll see in this one. I think the fact that A&M's at -2.5, that seems like a gift. And so please enlighten me here, Jack, because Texas A&M looks like one of the best, if not the best team in the entire country. I understand, yes, they're undefeated. There's a couple ahead of them with IU and with OSU. But I feel like this is a no-brainer. I mean, betting A&M to win by over a field goal, if not a field goal plus, this seems like that's a lock it in. I'll put that in today on paper, bet the house on it. But maybe there's something I'm not aware of why that line is so small.
Well, I think Vegas is trying to trap us here a little bit. The game is being played at UT, so you get a couple points in favor of the home field advantage.
Right.
A&M. So here's the thing: if they lose this game, it matters in the sense of they may not make the SEC championship game, but they are in the college football playoff. So in an era where the conference championships don't really matter, I mean, you want to get the bye, you want to be one of those top 4 teams, but would you rather just take the bye next week and then host a playoff game? Could you imagine what Kyle Field looks like in Aggie land for a playoff game, I mean, yikes. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Vegas is trying to think, hey, Texas has a little bit more to play for. If they win this game, they're probably the most attractive three loss team in the country. Maybe they can jump like a Miami with 2 losses, maybe a
Yeah.
BYU with 1 loss. So they would start to really open the conversation, knowing that they've lost to premier teams in the country already. But no, I'm going to be taking A&M. I think obviously they're undefeated. They might be the best team in the country that people just don't want to talk about. Like obviously they're in the headlines, top 4, whatever. But all the attention has been to Ohio State, to Indiana. Both of them are on a collision course to play for the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
Maybe not. We'll have to talk about that here in a second. But A&M is number 1 in strength and record, IU 2, OSU 3. They're 23 in strength of schedule, IU 38, Ohio State 52. Ohio State's only win versus current college football playoff ranked teams was Texas the first week of the year.
Yeah.
Arch Manning's first start in Columbus, hostile environment. IU's lone win was at Oregon, number 6 currently. So that's a good win. I'm not going to disparage that. But A&M went to South Bend, Indiana, beat Notre Dame. That team has since rifled off, I believe, 10 straight wins over there in Indiana for Notre Dame. So I think Mike Elko is on a bit of a path of destiny, team of destiny vibes here.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be able to cover the 2.5 on the road, set up that SEC championship game. I think these are the kind of players that are like, give me the rings. I want to win the games. Not one to be like, hey, the loss is fine. We'll get them next week kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I think the undefeated season means a lot to them. So
Yeah.
why not continue that? I'm going to take A&M at the 2.5. The 51.5 scares me though. That
Yeah.
seems like too many points. So
Yeah.
if I had to take a total here, I'd lean to the under, but I think the 2.5 is too good to pass up.
Yeah, I think that in itself is a completely unacceptable pick, let alone in this game. So I'm with you there. I love A&M at 2.5 here. Sorry, Mom. But I think that's probably one of our biggest locks of that Friday slate, just based on what we know between these two teams, which, of course, that leads us to day 2. Numero dos of college football action. We don't often get to say this here at the Cover Story, but we have back-to-back exciting days of college football. So we're going to be ending the slate on Friday. We're going to get some nice rest after a fun post-Thanksgiving Friday, going into our Saturday to continue off this party. And first thing we're going to be looking at, of course, is one of the biggest rivalries in college football. One of the games that we all look forward to, whether you're affiliated with these schools or not. It's always on your calendar, and that is the Ohio State against University of Michigan. So we are seeing Ohio State traveling to Ann Arbor, playing number 15, Michigan, over under at 43.5. Ohio State favored by 10 points here, which seems like a lot for this kind of a game. I mean, on paper, I'm looking at this, I'm saying maybe take Michigan plus 10, but Jack, want to get your thoughts on this, because is that a too good to be true scenario, or is there some things we don't know?
So this one's going to be a little tough for me to be unbiased about, because I was raised a Buckeye fan. I do not like the team from up north, but the game means a lot. If the team from up north can win this game, they actually find their way to a Big Ten title potentially. So they have everything in the world to play for if you can't already get up for the game. But Ohio State has been pounded and embarrassed in this matchup for 4, if not, I think 5 years in a row, potentially. Bad research on my part there, should know that. But I will say one thing. They believe that the loss to the team up north last season catapulted their eventual college football playoff championship.
Yeah.
So I do think this game matters to them. Obviously, they're in the playoff, whether or not they win this game. But this is a game where Ryan Day has to say, enough is enough. The team from up north is getting belt to ass, and I think they're going to lay it on them. Julian Sayin is a phenomenal quarterback. Bryce Underwood has played very well for the team up north as well. But I think this is star power on the outside. It's going to be loaded with downfield shots because last year Ohio State was like, oh, we're going to be big, we're going to be mean, we're going to pound the rock and beat them at their own game. No, that's not what you do. You have Jeremiah Smith, probably the best receiver in the country. Get him the ball downfield, take shots. Brian Hartline, open it up. First year he's calling plays. Let's do what we do. Let's move the ball downfield, take shots, chunk plays, and you know how good that Ohio State defense is. Yeah. So I think this is this 10's a ton. It is a lot, but I think they are going to run it up as best as they can. So yeah, I'm my complete unbiased opinion is the Ohio State -10.
All right. Well, even on a big rivalry matchup, we're going for a double-digit spread then for Ohio State, which then leads us, of course, to another relatively big matchup with some playoff potential here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have number 14 Vanderbilt playing at number 19 Tennessee -3 for Tennessee being favored, if I'm seeing this correctly, and over under 65.5. I'll be honest. Maybe it's because I don't follow college football as extensively as you do, but I'm not, I'm not looking forward to this one. This isn't something I'm going to be like putting on my calendar by any means. So like, what's the impact here? What are the implications on this game in itself?
Well, this is the penultimate game that we have to watch Diego Pavia and his mom shake her ass in the stands. He is not going to be an NFL quarterback. No. This is the game that doesn't have a cool name, but it's the teams that Jack Barlow does not enjoy watching and if not hates. Clark Lee, head coach Vanderbilt, go to Penn State. See you later. Just get out of here. No one wants to hear about you anymore. No, I am so sick and tired of watching Vanderbilt. They're not a good football team. They should not be in the playoff. I don't want to hear about them complaining they didn't get in. Tennessee, air raid offense, Josh Heupel, just do it. The Vanderbilt defense isn't that good. Tennessee's defense is terrible too. 65.5 seems like a load of points, but I take the over. That's just fun.
No kidding.
But yeah, give me Tennessee -3 at home. I don't want to watch this game, but
yeah,
it's somewhat relevant, so we had to talk about it.
Of course. All right. Well, then we're looking at Tennessee -3 and potentially and even the over at 65.5, which that's an exciting hit. Yeah, that's an exciting hit. If you're going with the over on that and you're watching that game and you're seeing your over hit, all you know is you had a great time watching that football game. So that's fun to even just consider for that Saturday game as well. Now, of course, to tie us off and to finish off our Saturday slate of what we're discussing here, we have the Commonwealth Clash. Virginia Tech at number 18. Virginia favored at 9.5 with an over-under of 52.5. So I know in this case too, right, if I'm not mistaken here, Jack, Cavs win, they get a spot in the ACC title.
That is correct.
Big implications here. Big obviously money on the line for our Cavaliers there. I say the Cavaliers here. But curious on your thoughts on this, right? I think we haven't seen Virginia Tech be too competitive really this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a big rivalry match.
Yeah, no, they have not been. I think they fired their coach like the 3rd, 4th week of the year or something. So, no, they have had an extremely down year. Obviously, Virginia has everything to play for. They win, they're in the ACC championship. They win that, they're in the college football playoff. I think they have to win both of these games to get to the playoff. I don't think they're going to be an outright bid. Obviously, as they're sitting at 18th right now, a loss this week would end their season. Well, they go to a bowl game, but who cares? Yeah, I think Virginia's going to get it done. My other question is, can James Franklin coach this game for Virginia Tech? He's already technically the coach, right? Why can he not be on the sidelines? I don't even know if there's a rule about that. Maybe someone can reach out to us via Instagram or Twitter and tell me why he's not coaching this game. But yeah, I don't know. Virginia, everything to play for. Probably the team that no one's talking about in terms of Power 5 to make it to the playoff. So I don't know. Go Cavs. I think Boyle loves the Cavs. So shout out Kevin Boyle.
There you go.
Just got married. Hey,
just got married. Congrats to Cam and Kevin. fantastic wedding weekend this last weekend. Well, that wraps up our big focus on the Saturday clash. Now, Jack, I want to do something a little bit different with you to end our show here. I
Okay.
want to just start throwing some games out at you. Okay, so we're going to call this our rapid fire picks. So I'm going to read off. I wrote down just because I handpicked some handful of games that I would be curious just to get your take. Now, we're not going to obviously dive into the weeds here. We're just going to get outright. You tell me who's going to win, and I'm going to move on to the next one. All right. So to start
Is this
off,
college or NFL?
This is specifically for college.
Lovely. Okay.
For college football. Just because knowing this is your specialty, this is what you've been arguably one of the most hot in with your picks so far this year. So give the people some ammo here. Easy slate. We're going to start with, on our first game, the Cascade Clash. Number 6, Oregon at Washington. Go.
Oregon. Washington can't keep up with them. Got to win this game if you're the Ducks.
Say less. Now we have number 12, Miami at number 22, Pitt.
Gross. Pitt, I guess. I'm not really a fan of Carson Beck in Miami. Shout out Pat Narduzzi. Go Pitt.
All right. So upset for number 22 Pitt, although I don't even know if who's favored or not, but we love that line in itself. Now, battle line rivalry. Speaking of lines, Missouri at Arkansas. Your alma mater. Who are you going with?
I'll take the Tigers. We don't lose trophy games. Coach Eli Drinkwitz is not leaving for Penn State. He's not going to Florida. He's going to do the, I'm not fucking leaving, the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. So yeah, give me the Tigers. Got to get another 10-win season. Win this in the bowl game 3 in a row.
There you go. All right, now we have 2 more left here. I'm gonna end the last one on I think one of the more exciting options. So I'm gonna go with the next one is UNC versus NC State.
Ooh, interesting. I think you're picking this just for the Bill Belichick factor. Yeah, give me the Tar Heels. They've been close in a lot of these games.
Okay.
I would imagine they're underdogs against the Wolfpack, but Belichick been in the news for all the wrong reasons. I think he's going to try to steal one and end on a high note, year 1.
All right, get some of those headlines maybe more in favor for him. So I love that itself. Now to finish it off for our rapid fire picks, we have arguably one of the most exciting matches we've seen in the last 20 plus years to be able to witness, the Iron Bowl. Number 10, Alabama playing at Auburn.
Okay, so the fact that it's at Auburn, scary because Jordan Hare under the lights. I'm assuming this has to be a night game. I don't know when it's being played, but I imagine it's probably Saturday night. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Give me Alabama. I'll take Alabama. But there's going to be some funky voodoo magic there because Auburn should have no reason being in this game. But let me tell you, it might be close down the stretch. But yeah, I'll take the Tide.
I mean, we see it often where Auburn has nothing to play for, no really reason or rhyme except for pure passion and history. So it's been done before. It could happen again, but I'm with you on the Alabama pick. So that ends our rapid fire Saturday college football selection, which of course then ends our segment for our picks this weekend and upcoming Thanksgiving week for action. Jack, anything else you'd like to say?
No, just as always, keep an eye out on the socials. If you aren't already, go follow us on X, Twitter, go follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Maybe we'll do some dances this Thanksgiving to try to farm some engagement throughout these slate of games. But I'm thankful for you listeners out there for tuning in every week. We've been doing this for 2 months now. We've already seen some great growth on the socials, great engagement. And Mac, I'm thankful for you, buddy. Get to sit down and chop it up every week with one of my good pals. So yeah, I think that's all I got for the rest of the weekend here.
Yeah, well, the feeling is mutual there, Jack. This has been so much fun over the last 2 months, and so appreciative of everyone here listening in, tuning in, following, engaging. We've gotten some incredible messages just from the followers saying nothing but really nice things, which kind of reminds us why we like to do this, right? We all want to win together. We all want to tail together. We all want to just be able to be a part of this fun community, and so cannot thank you all enough. And for the spirit of Thanksgiving, right, and how thankful we are with you all. Just want to say we are going to be launching a premium and exclusive subscription, but we made the decision instead of launching that this week, being that it's Thanksgiving week, we're going to continue to give you all free picks of what we are writing. So be on the lookout after the holiday week that then we'll start releasing our exclusive packaging that you can then sign up for. One quick caveat or one thing to note. we are running a special for our monthly subscribers. The first 50 will essentially be able to get the monthly premium package for half off indefinitely. So when we drop those codes, when we drop those links, be on the lookout. Make sure you're one of the first people to sign up because you will get a deal of a lifetime for those. But other than that, we love you all. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, stay responsibly. Faded again.